Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Crowned Conversations. I am your girl, Chanel, and today, guys, I have my favorite couple, like favorite, like for real favorite, Shannon and Rochelle Parker. So let's get into a little conversation with them and see what they've been up to as DSPs.
Hey.
Hey.
Thank you for having us on.
I'm so glad y'all are
Happy to
here.
be here.
Yes, I was like, I gotta get my peeps up on here and talk to you guys about the DSP world and how you guys have leveled up and just find out how you guys are doing as far as lifestyle and family and balancing it all. So my first question for you guys is, how did you guys even get into this? Like, where did it even come from? How did you find out about the program and what were you like doing at the time? Like, what were your jobs? And then you were like, oh yeah, I heard about this. This is what I'm going to do. So tell me about that.
I think you should probably answer that one.
All right. So I used to work for Amazon as a manager.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did 4.5 years.
Okay.
Started off in Southern California
Yeah.
as a trans execution area manager. Launched the Prime Now program back in 2015.
No way.
Then we transferred to Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Launched a building there. We were in Phoenix for 2 years.
Okay.
Then we transferred to Central Operations in Orlando.
Okay.
Yeah. We were there for a year.
Okay.
Then we transferred to Dallas
Mm-hmm.
to a cross dock. We were there for a year. And then we heard about the DSP program actually from the news. It was July 4th weekend, 2018.
Okay.
And we saw it on the news that Amazon was trying to break up from FedEx
Yeah.
and start their own last mile program.
Okay.
So we were like, oh, this is perfect for us.
Right.
So applied in 2018 while still working for Amazon.
Okay.
Took us a year to get in. We found out we had got in June of 2019.
Nice.
At that time, we were in Flower Mound, which is like 30 minutes away from Dallas, and I was working for AMZL. And yeah, we transferred to Austin and launched Dow 2
Okay.
in August of 2019.
Mhm.
Shout out to Dow too.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, now we're in our 6th year,
Yeah.
Wow.
and it was absolutely the best decision we ever made.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so Rochelle, so when I'm assuming you both were watching the news and both seen this, or was Shannon like,
Yeah, no. We were both watching the news.
Okay.
We had been talking since the start of our relationship about entrepreneurship,
okay,
doing our own thing. We had actually even started to launch our own logistics company
nice.
probably about a few years before he started working for Amazon.
Okay.
So when it popped up, it just made sense.
Okay.
It lined up.
Okay. So technically, Shannon, you got a little bit of a leg up because you were
Yeah.
already in Amazon.
Correct.
So you already knew the lingo,
Correct.
the culture, all of that.
Yep.
Okay.
And I worked with the DSP 1.0 program.
Okay.
So I saw how much they were making.
Yeah.
Because I was one that approved their invoices.
Oh.
So when they announced the 2.0 program, I was like, sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
We're about to do this.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I like that. I never knew. Okay. I'm learning something. I love
Yes.
that. So now that you guys are in it, we're going on 6 years,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
We're in the start of
Okay.
our 6th year.
Okay. You guys have 2 kids.
we do.
Okay.
Yep.
2 girls.
Yes.
Because we're girl clubs.
Girl
Okay.
club.
Yeah. So tell me, like, how are you guys managing that piece now? Like, now that we've been doing this 6 years, the girls are how old?
They're 9 and 6.
9 and 6. Okay. So the majority of the time y'all have been DSP owners. So like how do y'all manage that? Like how are y'all managing the day to day, still being present, right? Because they still need mom and dad because DSP world is very demanding. So how do y'all tag team that as a couple?
We tag team everything.
Okay.
The business, the personal, everything. So when we launched the DSP, both kids were still really small.
Okay.
Shannon was a little heavier on site, where I was working more remotely at
Okay.
the time. Once our youngest daughter, Shannon, Nicole, she turned,
I
she got a little bigger.
Yeah.
I started hitting the site a little bit more too.
Okay.
But it's always been that they've been small.
Mm-hmm.
So we've always kind of been in that position of having to balance everything.
Yeah.
But it's really just a 50-50 teamwork.
Okay.
We do everything together.
I love that. I love that.
I'll add on top of that by saying we manage the best we can.
Yeah.
Things are still really hectic.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Rochelle's parents.
Absolutely.
They actually moved out here from California to support us, and they have made all the difference in the world.
Right.
Before they came out here, we were really struggling. We didn't have any time to go out on the weekends. Rochelle has trust issues with babysitters.
Yes.
So she won't let just anybody watch our kids.
Period.
But they're really comfortable with her parents.
Yeah.
So we sold them our first house.
Okay.
They moved like less than a mile away from us.
Yeah.
And that changed everything.
Nice.
Now we can drop the kids off, start going out with just us two on the weekends.
Yeah.
Even with that, you know how it is.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of work.
Right.
So we just do the best we can.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So that's a focus when it comes to like being a couple and being in the DSP arena. And I'm assuming it's probably for everybody who has some type of business that they own or run, like making sure you're taking time for each other. Do you guys prioritize that? What do you guys do to like make sure, hey, we're checking in with each other? Because it's pretty, I mean, it's a lot. And like you were saying, you were remote. Shannon was the one that was at the station most of the time. Like how do you guys check in to make sure we're still communicating, we're still talking, we're still spending time with each other?
You watch that one?
Yeah. So Shannon and I spend probably 100%. I would say 99.9% of our time together.
Okay.
When we are not together, it kind of irritates people. We are on the phone with each other.
Yes.
We pretty much talk all day.
Okay.
I don't think there goes by maybe 20 minutes out of the day where we don't talk. So we don't really have to check back in with each other.
Okay.
Talking to him is basically talking to me, and talking to me is talking to him.
Right.
I'll give us credit on that. We're pretty much 100% on the same page as far as business and how things should be operating.
Okay, good. Good. I love that because that reminds me of myself. Sometimes I'm like, babe, you just left. But he's like, yeah, but what you doing? Like, you know what I mean? It's that. So I'm glad to know that somebody else is like that other than us.
On our very first date, we went in the backyard and we just talked about what we wanted out of life.
Yeah.
And we kind of set the ground rules right then and there. We determined that we wanted to treat our relationship like a corporation.
Okay.
This is on our first date.
Yeah.
So,
we
talked about kids and business and money and what we wanted out of life. And we kind of set the ground rules right then and there. And we've always treated our relationship like a corporation.
That is so funny.
So we have one common goal that we're both working towards.
Yeah.
And we each just attack it from two different ways.
Yeah.
But we're in lockstep all the time.
All the time.
So,
I love that. Yeah. So that really keeps y'all connected, right?
Yeah.
It works for us. It might not work for everybody, but it works for us.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'd like to add too, we have been together for a very long time. So that first conversation that we had, I was 19, he was 25.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
It's been close to a decade, 2 decades. 20.
It's a long time, guys.
I told her on our first date, I'm going to create a business that we can both work in.
Yeah.
You'll never have to work a job again.
Period. I love you. No.
I just had the faith back then. I didn't know how, but I knew.
I think what he said was, this train is going to the top.
Yeah.
And you can hop on the train or you can get left behind.
Oh.
And when he said that to me, he looked right in my eyes.
Yeah.
And I knew then and there he was very serious. He was dead serious.
Yeah.
A lot of what we connected on is that we're both hustlers. Like we both want money. We both are big on wealth building and retention.
Yeah.
So we really connected on that.
Okay.
And pretty immediately, we weren't dating for too long. It was kind of like, let's just go ahead and get this corporation going.
Yes. Wow.
The first goal we ever made together was to save $50,000 cash.
Yeah.
And my dad had got a job in Japan.
Okay.
We were in California at the time. And he offered us to live in his house rent-free. So we moved out to Virginia together. We'd only been dating for a year. This is when I knew Rochelle was my soulmate.
Yeah.
We had gotten an apartment together. And a couple months afterwards, my dad made me that offer.
Yeah.
So I told Rochelle, I can't pass the offer up. I'm going to go out there. And when the lease is up, you can meet me out there. Within a month, Rochelle had sold all the furniture, found somebody to take that lease over, and moved out there to Virginia with me. Yeah. When she got there, we found jobs.
Yeah.
And we lived off my income
Okay.
and saved her income.
Okay.
And we were able to save $50,000 within a year and a half.
Wow.
So that showed us we could do it if we worked as a team.
Yeah.
And we've been setting new goals, knocking them out ever since.
Ever since.
Yeah.
Let me find out. I love that. I love that. Okay, so as far as like DSP wise, like how do you feel like it has changed? Maybe okay, we know it's changed financially, right?
Oh yeah.
But I feel like you guys were doing good. Would y'all say y'all were doing good before? Like,
Yes.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so now you feel like that has elevated that. So what other opportunities has that opened up for you guys to do other things outside of being DSP, or has it not? You just was like, DSP is what it is. We're sticking to this. This is what we're good at. Like, what else have you guys thought about or implemented? Any other things outside of a DSP?
I'll let Shannon finish, but I'll start by saying that our very first love is investing. It was back, I don't remember the year. And we joke about it. So if you're watching for any reason, Jaffe, we were actually unemployed at the time working at LA Fitness. And this guy came up to me and he said, I went to high school with him. And he said, what are you guys doing? What are you guys into? And I'm like, we're in investments.
Yeah.
At the time we had a small investment portfolio. So, we're just in investments. But investments is our first love.
Okay.
And so as far as expanding outside of the DSP, any profit that we've made goes straight into our portfolio.
Nice. Yes. Okay.
So we launched August of 2019.
Okay.
And we had to ramp for peak.
Okay.
And then as soon as peak was over, COVID hit in 2020. So it was like a second peak. The money was coming in so fast, we had no idea what to do with it.
Right.
So we were like, do we start another business? We were looking for ways to reinvest the money.
Yeah.
So we sat on the table and looked at a bunch of different business models. And, most businesses are going to give you 10 to 15% margins.
Yeah.
Investing, we're getting 50 to 300% margins.
Wow.
So we just decided we were going to go all in on the stock market.
And I'd like to stop there and just give a shout out to Shannon because, again, we do everything 50-50.
Yeah.
But Shannon is brilliant in the market with picks. He's really, really focused on staying up to date with what's going on in the world today, the direction the world is going, and managing our portfolio in a way where it truly benefits and we can get those 40 to 86% returns every year.
So now that we're getting older and we have a family, I think what's most important to both of us is our time.
Yes.
I don't want to buy another job. Right. I don't want to be busy. I like having nothing to do.
Right.
I like taking naps in the middle of the day. So I don't want 2-3 more businesses taken away from my bandwidth.
Right.
I really value my free time.
Yeah.
And the stock market gives me that.
Yeah.
I could do a couple hours of research in the morning time, make my stock picks, set it and forget it.
Yeah. But even with doing that though, is that the norm? Is that something that everybody can get into, or is it kind of like a numbers game? Like you have to know something in order to you know what I'm saying? You have to know some type of financial something in order just to like jump into that type of thing. Or where did you come in at like not knowing anything and you were like, okay, I'm just gonna take a chance on this and this is what I'm gonna do?
I'm glad you asked that, and that's a really good question. This is 100% something anybody can do.
Okay.
Anybody can do.
Okay.
Especially if you're investing for the long term.
Okay.
If you're a buy and hold investor,
yeah,
all you have to do is identify quality companies.
Okay.
And just hold them for long periods of time. So all you really need to do is educate yourself on how the stock market works,
okay,
how the economy works, how business works, and teach yourself how to find great companies to invest in.
Okay.
As long as you do that, I feel like you can't lose.
Okay.
Especially if you invest for the long term.
Yeah. Okay. And you know a lot about this too, Rochelle?
I do. We literally do everything together. So yes,
you do.
Shannon is really good, like I said, with the research. He's very data oriented. He's obsessive compulsive, but he brings everything to me.
Yeah.
We talk about it. Sometimes he'll sanity check with me.
Yeah.
I'll tell him, don't, you're hyper right now. You're emotional.
Right.
Let it hold. Let it hold.
Yeah.
Or no, yeah, you're right. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
But no, and shout out to Shannon too. I'll jump in and say that Shannon he's a lot older than me.
Mm-hmm.
What, 10 years? I'm just
I'm
kidding.
6 years
He's 6 years older than me. And so Shannon, throughout my life, you know, we met when we were teenagers into adulthood. He has really truly been my mentor. And always empowered me. So he has anything he knows, he shares with me, make sure I'm up to date. His big thing is, again, it's our family. So, you know, God forbid anything were to happen to Shannon, there would be no misstep. Or myself, obviously. Everything could continue on.
Right, because you're in the know, because he tells you pretty much everything. You're not in the dark. Like some people can be in the dark, and when something happens, you're like, I don't know where that paper is. I don't know. I've never seen that. You know what I mean?
I think that's what I'm most proud of our personal relationship. Is that it is a true partnership. Right. And that's really important to be successful.
I'm huge on empowering your spouse. I don't want to be the heavy. I want to be equally yoked. So I need a partner who's just as knowledgeable as me. So, of course, anything I know, I'm going to show to her. God forbid something to happen to me. Rochelle could just keep on without me running the business, investing in stocks. She's fully capable.
Doing all that. Oh, I love that. That's why I love you guys. That's why I love y'all. So, okay, that's awesome. I think I want to kind of tell, you know, people who are watching, like, what would you say was the pros and cons to being in this program? Because I know what comes to my mind, but I'm curious for you guys, like, you know, as a couple, and you guys are so in tune with each other, so in tune with the business. What would you guys say? Like, if I was coming up to you and I had just figured out that, you know, Amazon has this, what would you guys tell me if I was thinking about, you know, becoming a part of the program?
What would we tell you? I would tell you, be ready.
Okay.
Be ready to not sleep.
Okay.
Be ready to go, maybe not eating.
Yes.
Maybe you don't take a shower for a day or two. Be ready to really backseat yourself and put your business first.
Yes.
This is an amazing opportunity that we have with the DSP program. And like we like to say, it's like getting the keys to a Ferrari, right? And so when you have that car, you're going to do everything you can to take care of it, to make sure that it's operating the right way. And so that comes with a lot of stress. So I would say be ready, be prepared to work 365 days a year, you know, 18 to 24 hours a day, if that's what it takes. It goes up and down, obviously, with the stress and the work. But it is nonstop, and you do have to be fully committed and fully dedicated to your business.
That was pretty good.
He's like, ooh,
just to kind of echo what she said, Amazon is a very demanding partner. So you got to be prepared to give them your whole life. Much. Amazon's going to take your soul from you. They're going to take their pound of flesh. If you're not a person who can deal with ambiguity, who can pivot and make audibles on the fly, it's probably not going to work for you. You have to be very flexible. You have to be very comfortable with ambiguity. You have to be very comfortable rolling your sleeves up and working hard. We operate 361 days a year. The business operates 7 days a week. It never closes, so you're always on. You're always on.
Never closes. So, okay, so I know Shannon, what both of y'all were saying is hard work. You're gonna lose some sleep. You're gonna find yourself working all the time. So basically, don't get it twisted. It's a great opportunity.
I think that's what I was saying. So I think that's a misconception. Is I get a lot of messages of, you know, you look like you're constantly on a trip, or you're living a certain kind of lifestyle. We do get to travel a lot. That was one of our big goals that we had in that first conversation, is we both want to see the world. We could talk about that if you want to. It's a whole other can of worms. But even on those trips, when you see us on these trips, we are working.
Still working.
We're working nonstop. So it could be that we went on a trip to Hawaii for our daughter's 8th birthday. And the whole time we were there, I was completely stressed out. So, you know, you think you're in paradise and it's this and that. And really, I'm up all night, dripping sweat, anxiety. Everything at home that could be going wrong while we're not there is going wrong. You know, Shannon had been really stressed out prior to that. So I'm trying to, like, not hide things, but, you know, just let him enjoy his vacation a little bit. So it's like, oh, man, you know, this is burning up. So it is a sacrifice. And you have to be willing to give your whole self to it all the time.
So basically, don't be fooled. We are, you know, it is a good opportunity, but it takes a lot of work.
It does.
For sure. And I can attest to those long days those hours, that being on vacation and still working. It's just like, man, I remember the days where I would go on vacation but it's hard, right? It's so hard to do
it's
that.
different. You know, if you have a 9 to 5 job, a lot of roles you can clock out.
Yes.
And then, you know, you might still have some work stress, but that's something you'll deal with in the morning.
Yeah.
Whereas with us, we have to deal with it right now.
Then, yes.
Because, you know, within 10 minutes, there's another fire that has popped up. So it's never ending.
Exactly. Yes. That's funny. So I guess my next thing that I want to talk about with you guys is how you guys are how do you guys kind of decompress? I know we talk about trips, and I knew you guys took like a fabulous trip to, did y'all go to Europe? Italy. Spain. Okay. Yeah. I know you guys took that trip. I know you guys went and did Dubai. So y'all have been some places, because, you know, I be seeing. So y'all have been some places. So like, is that kind of where you guys find your peace? Like, as far as whether with the kids or without the kids, even though you're still working, but is that what you guys like to do, to kind of be like, okay, we are decompressing even though we're still working?
I don't think I ever decompress.
No, Rochelle's a stress ball.
I'm a complete spaz.
Okay.
So I don't think I ever decompress.
I think we do find peace in exercising.
Exercise.
And then we find peace in our family.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we like to do things as a family with the kids.
Yeah.
That's when we're in our happy place.
Yeah.
So as long as we're all together as a family, we can find a brief moment of peace just in that.
Yes.
And then it's right back to work all over again.
Oh, I have to agree to that. Probably the mornings, like when the girls first wake up.
Yeah.
And it's peaceful. We're all kind of just eating breakfast together.
Yeah.
And it's just, it hasn't started yet.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But the kids definitely bring probably me the most peace and joy, because when I see them, it puts it in perspective of what I'm doing all of this for.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And then as far as the kids too, are you guys thinking about, you know, when you're doing your day-to-day, when you're out here grinding, when you're, you know, checking the stock market, like how are you setting them up? How are you guys taking time out to make sure, like, okay, if something happens to us tomorrow, my kids are good? Do you guys set aside, you know, different accounts for them? Are you guys, you know, making sure that, you know, college is good if they decide to go? Because some kids don't. But if they go, are they good? Like, I know a lot of people who are who definitely invest, but they do a lot of investing on the side of what is like whole life or stuff like that, and they set things aside for the kids. Like, are you guys doing that as well, like to make sure they're financially good if something happens?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, everything that we do, we call ourselves the House of Parks.
Okay.
So we try to model our family kind of like the olden days. You know, it's the House of Caesar. It's the House of Parks.
Yeah.
So everything that we have, we're in the mindset is theirs.
Yeah.
So as far as financially, their future is secure.
Yeah.
We do set aside money for them. Of course, Shannon is already teaching them investing strategies and skills. But I will be putting out, hopefully one day soon, a book that I'm calling First Generation Old Money.
Yes, I love that.
So, yes. And so the goal for us for the wealth has never been to buy things.
Okay.
To have material things.
Okay.
Of course, we like nice things.
Yes.
But it's about time and freedom.
Yeah.
And it's about generational wealth.
Yeah.
It's about wealth retention.
Yes.
I don't want to say I don't care about my own life, because I do, obviously. But for me, everything I do is not even just for my girls now, but their children as well.
Their kids, yeah.
Right.
Kind of like our relationship, to our family like a corporation as well.
Yeah.
So on all of our accounts, our kids are the beneficiaries.
Yeah.
Now that our wealth is starting to get substantial, we're looking at setting up a trust.
Nice.
That way we can pass the wealth down to our kids without having to pay inheritance or estate taxes.
Yeah.
And also to protect them from the money so they can't mess it up.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start our trust.
Yeah.
We're going to put bylaws in there that stipulate how the money can be distributed to our kids when the time comes.
Yeah.
But that's where we're at this point.
I like that, because I feel like us as the adults, like, we like to do nice things and spend money and go nice places, but I don't hear a lot of people talk about what they do for their kids, like to yes, we know that we can put them, on our accounts and stuff, but like that trust thing or the, or the whole life insurance or, even for us, we have a college fund for the girls, and because he was military, and so they get to go to like you just don't hear a lot of people talk about I'm setting up my kids. You know what I mean?
That's really all we talk about. We are very like relaxed, kind of like low key. We don't really need or want too much. Right. But part of our kind of our marriage constitution is our main portfolio that we invest in. It's not to be touched. We have a goal for that account, a certain number by a certain age, and we have short-term and long-term goals. But it's really like over our dead body when we spend that money or touch that money, right? Because we know we've calculated it, and if we kind of leave what we have alone, our children can be billionaires. By the time they're in their 50s and 60s,
right? And us as people of color. That I know my mom didn't do that. She was a single mom, and I'm pretty sure she would have, right? So I'm not, but I'm just saying a lot of us aren't really doing that. So I just think that's awesome that you guys are doing that and making sure they're financially free when that time comes, when they're out on their own. I love that.
That's the whole reason we're doing it. Everything we make is for our kids.
And we are not technically religious, but we're pretty spiritual. And so for us, we want them to have the ability to create, to be bosses, female bosses, and create the life that they want. So they're free to do what they want. But we encourage them to be the boss of that. Be the boss of that. If you want to be a doctor, have your own practice.
You're right.
Whatever you want to do, be the boss. And really create your own life. Don't get boxed into how everybody else wants you to live or tell you what you think you should be doing. Be true to yourself and find your purpose and your destiny. And it's hard to do that if you don't have resources financially. And you find yourself going to work every day and you get home and you're tired and you got to work out and you got to cook. There's not time to be creative and have that freedom.
Right.
So that's really always been our goal too, is to provide that for them now. Starting now.
I love that. So now I want to talk to you guys about some of the good stuff, because like, what do you guys splurge on? I know y'all splurge on something, so tell me, tell the folks, what is, with all this good Amazon DSP monies, what are you guys splurging on?
Uber Eats.
Do y'all?
A lot of food delivery.
We don't have a lot of time. We just moved down here to Cyprus, and so we're committed to like cooking more food. So we've been doing that. But our biggest splurge by far is food. The convenience of food, either going out to eat or having it delivered, just because it's go. And so you cook, you got to clean. It takes forever. So food is our biggest splurge.
Food is by far our biggest splurge.
What?
We went through a phase where we went like jewelry crazy.
We
kind of come out of that now. And then traveling as well. We'll spend money on travel
any day.
So that's just worth it.
As far as like clothes, shoes, bags, stuff for the house.
No.
We don't really care too much. For me personally. No. Like you said, we like jewelry. I like ice. I go buy Ice Queen.
In our mind, the money we're splurging can be money we're investing. So we're trying to get as much money as we can into the stock market.
There was a period of time when we lived in Virginia, and we really, really spent time studying a lot of different financial principles, spiritual guides, and we just kind of trained ourselves almost to where like I'm almost turned off by spending money. Now I'll spend money for, again, conveniences to help make my life a little easier, right? Because we're busy. But I honestly don't even have the desire to like. I don't even like shopping. My friends can tell you. You could tell. I don't really do well shopping. I don't. And so
I only like to spend money if other people are enjoying it. So if I spend money and 20 people get to enjoy it, then I enjoy it. Spend money on myself. Don't need to do it.
No.
But if my family's having a good time, my parents are having a good time, my friends are having a good time, then it's more enjoyable for me.
Oh, okay. Y'all threw me off. I was not expecting y'all to say that. I did not.
I both of us, like you said, I think both of us, we're really strong-willed about our financial goals. And so any little bit of money that we get, it's like, this shirt is only going to last 5 washes. But if I put this $1,000 into the stock market, that's going to compound at such a rapid rate. By the time I'm a certain age, I can get anything I want.
Yeah.
So deferred gratification, I think we really live by.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. I got it.
When we first became millionaires, I was driving an Altima.
Yeah.
And Rochelle was driving a Honda Accord.
Yes, I love it.
And we had a mattress on 2 box springs on the floor.
We did not have a bed frame for at least a year.
No way.
Yeah.
Listen,
the Accord is so hard.
I don't care what nobody say.
I did have a Accord. I did get a little upgrade.
Yes.
But it was a tax write-off.
Right.
So a lot of things that we do now where you see us splurge a little bit more or spend a little bit more is still a tax deduction.
Yes.
But we're trying to be smart about it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay, so tell me, if I want to be a part of your DSP, how can people find you guys? What's the name? Can I go and how do people find you? Like, to be like, okay, well, you know what, I might be interested, or somebody watching this and be like, oh, my son need a job. Let me see. Are they hiring? Like, how can people go about finding your DSP? Indeed.
Centric LLC, SYNTRIK. Indeed is really the only job board that we post on.
Okay.
You can always email us at centriclogistics@gmail.com.
That as well.
Centric again, spelled SYNTRIK.
Okay.
That'll be the best way to get in contact with us for business related
And
things.
we are always hiring.
Always.
If you're going to get a DSP, always
hire. Yes, always. And how many employees do y'all have right now?
A little over 100.
Okay, but y'all are plussing that.
Yeah, we're about to hire another 75.
We're gonna get up there. Yeah, we just launched here in Cyprus on September 18th. We launched with a team of 75.
Okay.
Our launch was a little slower than anticipated. Route wise.
Yeah.
So we kind of slowed, but now pushing over 100 employees and getting ready for peak. So.
Getting ready for peak.
Just ordered another 25 vans.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's about to be on and popping. Holiday season is coming up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
So we're gonna make sure that you guys get all your packages right here in the Cyprus area.
Make sure you give your delivery drivers
right?
Thumbs up on that.
Yes,
please.
Thank your
means more than
Amazon
you realize.
driver. Yes, positive will help us. Yes. So I'm so glad that y'all agreed to be on this show today, and I am definitely gonna have y'all back in the future. So this is not the last.
We're flattered.
Yes.
To even be on your show. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you. You are your own powerhouse, so I'm
trying to be
here.
Yes, and I thank y'all for y'all support. And showing up. I know it was far. How long did it take y'all to get here?
That wasn't that bad.
No,
It wasn't?
30 minutes.
About 30 minutes.
Okay.
The real California, Southern California. We're used to driving.
Okay.
1 hour to 2 hours.
So it wasn't that bad.
No.
Okay. Good. I'm so glad you guys came. Listen, again, if you want to be considered as a Amazon delivery driver, these guys are hiring all the time. Definitely check them out. Again, the website is
it's on Indeed, but you can email us at centriclogistics@gmail.com.
Check them out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.